welcome everybody to DevUP Talks again. And with me today I have Sandro Pereira, and we have some interesting discussions before this, so I hope we will have even more interesting discussions coming up now. So you talked to me before this, Sandro, that you're going to share some hidden stuff today.
Yeah, so today's topic is going to be about some non-documenting features in developing features in Logic App. So we will address two simple things, but I think it's going to be interesting for real case scenarios than we have. One is very simple, another is more related with security. Let's see.
Sounds good. That's going to be awesome. And today we're doing a fun thing because you're in Portugal and I'm in Sweden, so we're quite far distance. So we do this in this context. That's going to be fun. So where do we start? Do we start with the security or do we start with the timer?
No, let's start with the timer. So recurrency. I think we all have a Logic app that needs to run in a scheduler basis. So every 12 hours, every half an hour, and so on and so forth, which is quite simple, to be honest. We have the recurrency trigger. I can share my screen so we can... I have here, I didn't prepare nothing. This is going to be real case, and we are going to develop for this now. But yes, we have this recurrency. It's quite simple, okay? Every minute. We can say even this is going to be every hour. Save it, and that's it. So it's going to trigger that workflow, that Logic app every 1 hour. Okay, so that's nothing special. Now, what is not well documented, and we don't see that by the design, is well, we all have these, even in bespoke scenarios, that we have the scheduling in every half an hour in dev, but in production needs to be 12 hours.
I don't want to wait for that in dev.
So through the CI/CD, we have to configure this in a proper manner that, well, in our dev environment, it can be whatever we want. We want short runs or even long runs, and we do it manually. But in it can be every hour, and in production can be 12 hours, okay? And then we are in a nightmare because I don't want to deploy these and go to production environment and then say that, yeah, okay, that's going to be 12 hours.
Oh, no.
No one will allow me to do this. So, and here is where it enters. This one I already shared a little bit in a Friday Fact blog post in the blog. But the thing that we can do is, so we can go, for example, into the environment's variables, and we can create, for example, recurrency interval. Let's create another one. That's going to be this one. I already have the names here copied just for save and be faster. And we're going to put, well, 12 hours, 12. We apply, and we can go here and say, for example, the frequency, and another one. It's going to be frequency, and it's going to be every, well, let's say every 12 minutes. And let's go a little bit further, and let's say that we want also the time zone. Because we don't know, we deploy these in what, even if we can deploy these in a US base and then in Europe, and we want to be at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock where? No, it's kind of, we never know.
Important thing.
So let's put this in a GM time zone, and we can put this. Okay, we can get these values actually from the design and then go to the code view. Is that all the options? Okay, so we don't need to try to invent what is going to be the correct values. Okay. apply, and of course save it, because we need to confirm that saves. And now the fun part here is that once we go to our scalar POC, bear with me a second. Okay, so this is the Azure portal waking up, and my internet probably. Come on. While we were waiting,
the demo goes, that's always the case.
So
okay,
we cannot do nothing through the design. Okay, the design, it is what it is. It doesn't allow us to configure this, because this is a combo box. Okay, this is a combo box. So we cannot do nothing through the designer. Okay? So we need to go to the code view. Okay? And then we have this. Okay, and basically we can easily go here and replace those values by the app settings. Okay. So here I'm putting get interval. I'm forcing to be an integer because that value is an integer, the frequency and the time zone. And once I save this, or go to design, that is going to be rendered in a different way.
Now it's easy.
So now I can extend those configurations, of course, if I want. And if I save it, of course, through the CI/CD pipelines, I can change this interval, frequency, and time zone to the correct ones that I want. So my solution, my developer solution, is going to be the same, but I can deploy it through different environments, to different regions in a dynamic way. So a small, easy tip that is going to be a lifesaver for all of our development and CI/CD strategies. Okay.
Definitely.
Related to this, and this is a brand new that I didn't yet documented. This plan is on my bucket list and in draft mode deployed to my blog post. Is, well, what is the main problem with the pooling inside logic apps, and also with the recurrency? Okay, is that once I save it, it will start it.
Yep. Yeah, it will.
To be honest, I don't care that in dev environment.
Then you want it, probably. You probably want it in the environment to fire off immediately.
Yeah, even if it fails, I don't care. Okay. But, well, I'm not going to wait for my organization or my client to say, okay, Sandro, you can put in production. For me to deploy this logic app into production and start it. Okay. I probably want to deploy this to production in a disable mode so I can enable when I want. Okay. And I found it hard to find those documentation. Okay. Even I was struggling because in a specific client I didn't have yet CI/CD, but we were forcing to have these deploy. But I want these to be disabled through my Visual Studio. I'm not going to use the portal here because yes, we can easily go there and say disable. But if I'm developing the portal, once I save, is enabled by default. Okay. But in a real project, I'm going to use the VS Code. I'm going to put this in TFS or Git or DevOps whatsoever, and then deploy it through CI/CD. Okay. But even if I want to deploy through the VS Code, how can I deploy these in a disabled state? And that's my goal here. And I was fighting along with these, and I found a way to do it in locally. Okay, so if I want deploy to VS Code, and I want to deploy these to my logic app standard in a disabled way, so deployed but not started, I can go to my logic app settings and put this setting here, workflow dot the name of the workflow. Okay, so you see this is my workflow that is somehow somewhere here. Okay,
Yep.
and then flow state and disable. Okay, so you can put disable upper D or disable lower case. So luckily Microsoft allow us to do this. Okay. If you don't put nothing, is enabled by default. Okay. If you put something else, is enabled by default. Okay. So if I go here and put hello, it doesn't care. It's going to be ignored. This is going to be enabled. Okay. It doesn't fail, but it's going to be enabled. Okay. It has to be disabled, but this is great. Okay. I do deeply recommend this every pooling schedule, and not only recurrency, it's service bus pooling. I don't want to deploy and fetch the message immediate from the service bus. Okay, I want to deploy this in a controlled fashion way. Okay? Maybe I want to deploy it and double check if everything is good, and then enable this. Okay? So this should be disabled. Of course, we can do also by CI/CD, because what this is going to do is basically going to my, let me save this, okay? So basically it goes to my environment variables, and it's going to create an environment variable with the same name, workflows.sap, POC, stateful, and is disabled.
Super nice.
Okay? And if I go to the workflow now and see that they are disabled, if I go here and say enable it, what it's going to do is going to delete that app settings configuration from the my settings. There you go. Your workflow is enabled. Yeah.
Nice.
I think these two tips of developer are time saver and a huge benefit for us.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, using the parameters for the timer, making it possible to deploy the same code with just settings, with doing the same. And also, I love the disabled part, because then you can deploy it and wait for a later stage to be prepared for everything. Like I deploy everything here, then business
Exactly.
comes up or whatever, and when they say go, I can just switch it on rather than having the full deployment cycle then. So I know everything
Exactly.
is working.
And even there are cases, depending on the organizations and the projects, you know, that in Logic App Standard we deploy everything or nothing. No, it's not. We select. I have my code and say I want to deploy this and this and this. The other no, we cannot do that. Okay, it's all or nothing. It's a zip deployment. No, what can be done, of course, is if they say we want to deploy these, but only these two are going to be enabled in production, we can use also this strategy that, okay, we have to deploy these, but these one are in disabled mode and the others in enable mode.
Nice. Then we can do everything as we want and keep the customers or the consumers done with the safe path that we know are working, and just disable the rest.
Yeah.
Super nice.
Okay. So, Atel, do we go for the security step now? Okay, so again, very simple, but not documented at all from Microsoft side. If we go for the service bus, we notice that we can use a connection string and a managed identity, okay? But this managed identity is using the managed identity create the system managed identity in this case. So if we go for the what it is identity, and say on, it's use this one, okay? It's going to use the system managed identity. But we have this user assigned identity. Okay. We use this user assigned identity to connect to the service bus. Okay. And the reason why is that because we can create the user managed identity and we can give permissions to the service bus in a good matter. Okay. So we don't need to wait for us to deploy the logic app standard to enable the identity, to get that identity, and then give permissions to that. Because we have to have those created, we have to identify what it is, and then we have to give permissions to connect to the service bus. Okay? With user assigned identity, then it's different because we can create that user. We know what is the user already. It's on entry ID, and we can easily configure that in advance. So all my logic app standards are going to use the same user identity to connect. Okay, but by default, by design, that we cannot use it. Okay, but luckily we can do behind the scenes. Okay, so instead of going with a, and of course I have this working, but in the client I cannot show it here. But I'm going to show the concept itself. Okay. So instead of going through the UI, that can be the UI using the portal or in the VS Code. Nevertheless, I'm using the portal here just to be faster and simple. Okay. So instead of using the UI to get this creation of the connectivity, service bus. So instead of going here and use the connection string or using the identity, what we can do is first go to the connections. Okay, we go for the JSON view connection, and I think it is here. Okay, let me
This is
just
super
go.
nice. Yeah, if you pick that, I mean, this is. I actually have a discussion around similar topics today, like how can you split the deployment of the Logic app, and how can you split this not the deployment of Logic app and the permissions that it actually gets. I had a discussion today, so this is.
Yeah. So I guess it's here. I was just trying to see here in the tenant of the client if I put in the correct way. But if it's not correct way, I think it's managed API connection. But I'm trying to check this, validate. It doesn't matter. Okay, even if you create a service bus connection by default, it will create here, and then you just go to that section and modify this. Okay, and the thing is here we can use this, the identity and the type managed service identity. Okay, but this identity here is going to point to the user managed identity. And even you can have this on Key Vault because I'm setting here as an app setting. Wait a second. So if I save this, everything is good. Okay, so okay. I was a copy and paste situation. Now, of course, I have to create these settings. This here, okay. There's the correct identity here and the qualified name of the service bus. Okay, I think I have it somehow somewhere here. You have to check the full qualified service bus will be something like this. Okay, let me put here as service bus SASP, something like this. Okay, and managed service identity should be something like this. Let me copy this. Let me just clean the subscription key. I don't want to.
Good plan.
My resource group, and then identity 01. It will be something like this. Okay. When I have my subscription, okay, I have my resource group, and I have my user assigned identity, and that is going to be the identity that is going to be there defined on my logic app user assigned identities. Okay, and this is not documented by Microsoft, but it's supported by Microsoft. We are using this without any issue at all. And again, the advantage of using these compared to the other to the system identities, the system identity is always generated by when you create a resource group and you enable, that will create that by default. We don't select it. Okay? It's always creating that. And again, we have to create in production, go to production, check what it is, put in the CI/CD that configuration, and then deploy it for giving that permissions. This way is way easier than do that.
It's super nice. I mean, perfect to get away from the security model as we talked about in the beginning, but also the deployment that you can do it in beforehand. Like another team, for instance, creating the identity and providing the access that is supposed to have, and then you can deploy your logic app and then just utilize it.
This is what we are doing. In fact, they create the identity, they do the permissions to the service bus with that user identity, and when they create the logic app standard, they set up that user identity. So it's going to be everything in a advanced way, and not just waiting for that and then ask the another one, check this, give access to the other one, and too much confusion.
Yeah, and as I said, it's really good from a security standpoint. So you don't have the permissions to create all these permissions on your deploy, which is actually a hot topic.
I do not care. This is infrastructure team and security team that creates that for me. I just focus on the workflows, on the integration part. And this is how we shy, is on the integration, not on the security. For us, it's just, can we use it? And our initial answer was no, we cannot. It's not possible to use this. No? Sometimes it is, but it's hiding from us, and we have to investigate a lot and troubleshoot a lot. Luckily, we have support from Microsoft, and they told us how to do this, but not yet documented. So I think it's good to know.
Very good. And I can put in one thing when it comes to this user managed identity. There are some limitations with them, with Key Vault, for instance, and network that I know of because of the same reasons I've tried. But for a lot of things, it's going to work just fine.
Yeah, I hope because not everything supports that. I hope that will be getting better along the way. But at least for the service bus, we are safe now.
That's
Low
good.
storage, I don't think so. Also, but for this now is working. But yeah.
Super, nice. Thank you very much, Sandro.
Not a problem. Pleasure is mine.
Now we got some good tricks on both how to do the recurrency, how to make that, and also from enabling and disabling, or actually deploy disabled flows, so we can do that in safe beforehand, and now also how to handle security concerns when it comes to connections to other resources.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I thank you very much. Do you have something you want to tell the audience before we leave?
Yeah, if you have more tricks, send us, share with us. We are always learning on this journey. I will keep doing the same, and see you guys in Nordic integration event.
Perfect. Sounds awesome. Thanks, mate. And thank
See
you
you.
everyone for listening. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.